This news update is brought to you by...
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, November 4th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. The Trinidad and Tobago conglomerate Ansa Macal is defending its decision to secure a court injunction to freeze the current bidding process for Banks Holdings Limited. The company is contesting a 2010 agreement made between BHL and SLU Beverages, which has made a rival bid. That contract gives SLU the advantage in the takeover. Company officials told a press conference this afternoon they are confident they would win the case. They insisted that BHL directors failed in their duties to safeguard shareholders. ANSA's attorney, Queen's Counsel Patterson Cheltenham, says the action will in no way affect shareholders.
Our view is that only where there is certainty can ANSA make informed business decisions. This is surely in the interest of the shareholders for ANSA to be able to bid unrestricted so that shareholder value can be maximized via the competitive bidding process. My advice to shareholders at this stage would be to hold on to your shares. The process is frozen. Neither bidding party can close off the offer right now. There's no need to fear that by doing nothing, your position will be prejudiced. When ultimately bidding resumes, the bidding process will start from the point where we last were.
Meanwhile, attorney for Banks Holdings Limited, Barry Gale QC, said earlier today the injunction by Ansa Macal will have implications for the company and shareholders. Gale told reporters they were surprised by the move, particularly after directors rejected calls by Ansa Macal for the board to challenge the contentious agreement in a meeting on October 27.
Moreover, the agreement in question with Latin Capital, the agreement in question, requires that any dispute should be resolved through arbitration, and not just arbitration in Barbados, but arbitration in Miami, applying New York law. So the board would have, in those circumstances, to commence arbitration proceedings in a foreign jurisdiction, which could be very expensive, protracted to the company, and certainly not in the interests of shareholders, particularly in the environment of a competing ongoing bid process, because the effect of that would be, as we've now seen from the recent court order, to bring everything to a stop, resulting in that shareholders who are anxiously looking forward perhaps to a premium, a substantial premium on their shares, will now may not reap the benefits of the offers that are presently on the table.
In other news this evening, St. Philip carpenter Cherise Ricardo Omar Ince will return to court on December 2nd to answer to charges of theft and murder. This follows the disappearance of St. Philip resident Marcel Smith 3 weeks ago. Her car was later found abandoned on Culloden Road, and an autopsy completed this week identified a body found in a ravine over a week ago in Halton Plantation as that of the 75-year-old Smith. 36-year-old Ince appeared before the court on Friday and was remanded after being charged with the theft of the vehicle belonging to Smith's husband, former Lord School principal Aurelius Smith. When he reappeared in court this morning, he was charged with murdering Smith between October 12th and 24th, as well as stealing her husband's car between October 12th and 17. He was not required to answer to the charges. The family of the island's latest murder victim says he may not have been the intended target of the gunman. Corey Graves of Harrison's Tenantry, St. Lucie, was gunned down last night a short distance from his home. Gunmen opened fire as he made his way through a dark track to watch a football match. His older sister, Angela Graves, told Barbados Today her brother was a quiet and helpful person who kept himself out of trouble. Graves' death rocked the close-knit community, with many of the children opting to stay home from school as they tried to come to terms with the shocking incident. Motorists are being urged to follow road safety laws, especially as the festive Independence and Christmas seasons are approaching. The call from Assistant Superintendent Ronald Stanford at the launch of the Junior Road Ranger scheme this morning. ASP Stanford said there were 6 road fatalities over the past 2 weeks and 20 for the year so far, compared to last year's total of 14. And he suggested that speeding and drunk driving may have contributed to the recent fatalities.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, St. Lucia's opposition United Workers' Party is calling for an investigation into the island's lone electricity company, Lucilec. The party's leader, Alan Chasney, says consumers are not benefiting from the drop in global oil prices, and he wants to know why. We get the details from HTS News Force in Castries.
Over the past year, the price of oil on the global market has been consistently under US $50 a barrel, and economists expect that trend to continue in the near future. Now the United Workers' Party is honing in on sole electricity supplier Lucilec. Political leader Alan Chasney says consumers are not seeing the economic benefits of the decline in the price of crude.
Oil prices have dropped by more than 50%. Based on the same information that Lucilec has always given us, is that 70% of the cost of electricity is attributed to price of oil. So if the price of oil has come down by 50%, mathematically it means that the price of electricity should have dropped by 30%.
The UWP is leading the charge, pressing the government to investigate Lucilec.
It is also having a severe impact on the competitiveness of our productive sector, hotels, manufacturing, and the call centers that we do have here. So I am strongly saying to the government that we've continually to ask them to give us an investigation into Lucilec and to determine why is it the fact that the prices are still so high and what are they going to do about it.
Chasney says he expects the resignation of Lucilec's executive over the current price mechanism.
Canada's new Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was sworn in today, becoming the country's second youngest leader. Trudeau follows in the footsteps of his father, who led the country for almost 2 decades. He promised a less controlling style of government by cabinet after almost 10 years of conservative rule under his predecessor, Stephen Harper. The new cabinet is made up of an equal number of men and women, and asked why is gender imbalance important to him, Trudeau replied, because it's 2015. And finally, flights to the UK from the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh have been delayed due to concerns that the Russian jet, which crashed last weekend, may have been brought down. UK officials say all flights bound for Britain are being affected to allow experts to assess security. We get more in this report from the BBC.
Britain believes it may well have been a bomb that brought down this Russian airliner over Egypt on Saturday, killing all 224 people on board. A statement from 10 Downing Street today said that while we cannot say categorically why it crashed,
we have become concerned that the plane may well have been brought down as a result of an explosive device. Safety will always be the priority, and that is why the Prime Minister last night called President Sisi to express concern and to ensure that the tightest possible security arrangements were put in place at Sharm el-Sheikh.
The Russian-owned plane, full of returning holidaymakers, left the resort of Sharm el-Sheikh bound for St. Petersburg, but 22 minutes later it suddenly fell to earth in the Sinai Peninsula. Egypt's President Sisi is due to meet David Cameron in London tomorrow. It's emerged the two men spoke last night to discuss security arrangements at Sharm el-Sheikh airport. Clearly, the British government still has concerns. One possibility being studied is that someone, not a passenger, may have smuggled a bomb through this airport onto the doomed plane. Today, the jihadists of Islamic State's Sinai branch claimed, for the second time, that they brought the plane down. Egypt dismissed this as propaganda.
And that's the news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Maricla Williams. Good evening.